Well then, I think it's finally time for us to take a quick look at the book gun, innit? So let us peek at the secrets of this dreaded Diary of Doom. You get the book gun during the Whispers in the Walls quest. You actually pick it up fairly early on. And it is a brand new secondary weapon type, a Tome. It comes with 2 fire modes, both of which do pure electricity damage, and it sports a 20% crit chance, a 2x crit multiplier, and a 26% status chance. The book has infinite ammo and no magazine, so no reloading. Yay. Now the primary fire fires a bolt that does a bit of splash damage in a relatively small area, and it's fully automatic with slow fire rate and a low projectile speed. The secondary fire, on the other hand, summons a massive ball of lightning that will slowly move forward, zapping all enemies within a relatively large radius. Unfortunately, the usage of the secondary fire is limited. You need to first charge it up before you can fire it out, and you can see the indicator of how much it's charged up underneath your crosshair. Now this slowly charges up on its own, but the primary way of charging it is by hitting enemies with the primary fire. A very unique thing about the book gun is that it has access to special Tome mods. These are essentially pages that you can insert into the book, and they come in 2 varieties: invocations and canticles? Canticle. A hymn or a chant, typically with a biblical text, forming a regular part of a church service. Canticles fit into the exile slot, while invocations don't, and you can have 1 of each equipped at any given time. These have some really cool effects of the supportive variety. You can get these from the new Munio Mirror Defense mission on Rotation C. Now, invocations add an extra effect to the secondary fire. Risk can give you up to 60% power duration, Vom up to 60% strength, and Netra up to 60% efficiency, with Zata providing up to 10 energy regenerated per second. All the buffs are scaled based on the number of enemies hit with the secondary fire, and they last 20 seconds. Canticles, on the other hand, are triggered on kills with the Tome, and they have an affinity range wide effect. In other words, they have a very big area of effect. Fast provides 40% shield recharge rate and negative 28% shield recharge delay for 15 seconds to all allies. Crack gives enemies a 12% chance to drop a universal orb on death. Yahoo makes it so that whenever you kill an enemy, all other enemies within the affinity sharing range lose 5% armor and shields, and Lock provides 30% fire rate for 15 seconds to all allies. This makes the Tome a really good support or utility weapon if that's how you want to build it. Speaking of builds, I have 2 for you today. This one is more focused around doing damage for when you actually want to do big deeps with the book. We start off with Lethal Torrent and Galvanized Diffusion for a ton of multi-shot and a bit of fire rate, as well as Galvanized Shot for status chance. We follow that up with Frostbite and Pistol Pestilence for Viro, as well as Convulsion for extra electricity. Next on the menu we have Secondary Merciless for damage, and for our Exilus we run the Yahoo Canticle. This doesn't perform that well in the Simulacrum because of the limited enemies, but in normal missions it's actually quite good. Following that we have Anemic Agility to bump up the fire rate, and we top it off with an Expel mod for faction damage. The Expel mod is only necessary if you're doing stuff in Steel Path. If you're just farming on the star chart like you're doing fissures or maybe even sorties, you can put in Hornet Strike instead. Now, as I've mentioned already, this build doesn't perform all that well in the Simulacrum. Currently, I'm fighting level 185 in Steel Path, and it takes a while for the enemies to go down. This is because it takes a while for the Yahoo Canticle to ramp up. Though you do start to see the power of this build towards the end of this showcase, as we kill most of the enemies, so the remaining ones have significantly lower armor. This is not a big problem in the normal game because, especially in Steel Path, you will have a constant stream of weaker enemies that you can easily kill to strip the armor and shields off of the stronger ones. I've done quite a few runs with this and it performs really well against all the factions. If, however, you want to take the Grimoire into a more supportive direction, I would recommend you try out this build instead. This is a setup that I've been using as sort of my vital primer, utility, energy generation kind of thing. So we start this one with Primed Fulmination for more AoE, then we have Frostbite and Pistol Pestilence for Viro, and we're running the Zata invocation, which regenerates energy, though the kind of invocation you run depends on the type of buff you want this to provide. Then I slapped on Secondary Dexterity for the extra combo duration, and I'm using Energizing Shot as well because why not? Then we once again want to ramp up the fire rate, so we have Anemic Agility and Lethal Torrent, and we top it off with Sure Shot for some status chance, as well as Battle Diffusion for multi-shot. The idea behind this build is that you can quickly switch to the Tome, build up the secondary fire, fire it off, and then switch to either your primary or secondary to do damage. Alternatively, if you're using this as a buffer for a caster frame, you can just sit on the Tome, build up the secondary fire it off, build it up, fire it off, and just keep doing that basically. All in all, I'm very happy with how the Grimoire turned out. It's a great supportive defensive weapon that can also do some serious DPS. The one thing that annoys me beyond belief though is that the invocations and canticles don't have the same polarity. Who thought that'd be a good idea? That's so stupid. It's so random as well. It's not like every single one of them has a different polarity. No, they have 3 dashes and then there is a V. Like, bruh. What are you doing? But aside from that, it's pretty good, so I would highly recommend you play around with it because you might as well. You get it from a quest. It's free. And that is pretty much it for the video, so I thank you very much for watching. As always guys, I hope you have enjoyed the video and found it helpful, and if there is anything else you would like to add to this, feel free to leave a comment down below. Then I would also like to extend a special thank you to all the channel members. Thank you very much guys, I really appreciate your support, and if you would like to become a channel member as well, by the way, you can check out the memberships and stuff down below. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.